Hi, this is Edip. I will be talking about Charlie Hebdo and the other cartoonists. 12 of them were killed yesterday in Paris by a gang of terrorists who are most likely affiliated with Al-Qaeda or ISIS, Boko Haram, Taliban, or any one of those idiots or psychopaths. But there are kind of two sides of the truth. I see the hypocrisy of West, I see the hypocrisy of the East. I see Sunnis and Shiites, they are entirely blind to the problem within themselves. I see also the West are not honest regarding what they are doing, what they have done. And I will be basically dividing into two sides because they are related. There is certain collision of these two, I will not call civilization. I don't even consider both are civilization. Civilization creates a righteous society. I will concede that some Northern European countries who are more peaceful and social democrats, they are closer to that, but majority of the Western world, they are the #1 producer of weapons, and they have engaged in many invasions, colonialism, slavery, and after that recently many wars, 2 world wars, destruction, using atomic bombs, torture, so many things. Therefore, when as a Westerner I look at the mirror, I'm not the way that I picture myself. As a Sunni or Shiite, when I look at the picture, my gosh, I am another monster. Therefore, what I see the majority of people are liars, unfortunately. We lie to ourselves. We want to believe certain stories told to us by politicians and their magicians, like religious peoples and whole entourage. Now, Charlie Hebdo, I don't have even interest to see the ugly cartoons he has drawn. And I hear from some people they are very bad. But this world, there must be freedom. First, if there is no freedom of expressing, quote, bad ideas or unorthodox ideas, heretic ideas, there will not be any progress in humanity, because all good ideas once were considered blasphemous, wrong, even the earth being round, rotating around the sun, mostly rotating around the sun. Or Jesus, when he came, he was considered blasphemous infidel by the Pharisees. Muhammad, who was considered as a heretic infidel by the religious oligarchy of Mecca city-state. Therefore, if there must be progress. If there is truth out there, truth cannot be found, discovered without allowing 100% the expressions of ideas. Without freedom, you cannot find the truth. Furthermore, the society become more corrupt and corrupt because there will be some people taking advantage of the darkness and will feed society people with falsehood, and corruption will become endemic. Therefore, and this is based on reason, and ultimately the truth will be discovered by majority of people. Truth because serves people. If the ideas, people able to express. Of course, there is also practical side of it. Theoretically, there might be freedom like United States, but practically, there are a lot of obstacles in front of the freedom. For example, my voice is not really heard by American society. Why? Well, I have translated Quran into 2 languages. I have written books. I have a very colorful background. I'm an honest person. But there is a deliberate censorship against me in mainstream American media. And I got the first concrete evidence when a publishing house, Macmillan's Palgrave, accepted to publish this without knowing me much. And even they schedule it in their upcoming catalog. Then, the last moment, when they realize I'm not really very conventional, I don't succumb into their political manufactured stories. I'm a truthful guy. When I see wrong on this side, I say it. On this side, I say it. On my side, I acknowledge. Accept the truth so that truth will set you free. And therefore, Palgrave declined without any reason. Someone did not even let me know the name of the so-called scholar who gave this. I give you, these are a couple of people here, Reza Aslan, Irshad Manji, or some scholars here. These are all positive. But in the end, here it is, the secret scholar, the last one, who said what? It might be difficult to read, but you can look at here too. Anyway, I don't know why I'm showing you in such an awkward way. Okay. Okay. And here too. Anyway, now, therefore, truth usually is suppressed practically because of the corporations. They right now own the American democracy, which is not democracy anymore. Therefore, they own also the mass media. They can easily, well, say, you are free to say anything you want. Well, you say they have huge loudspeakers. You are not even heard by the person nearby. Okay. But by killing these guys, first of all, they showed hypocrisy. And there are many, many people in the Muslim world who are happy for this. Many, millions and millions. And almost all religious scholars, even they condemn, kind of, they really honestly are happy with that because according to their teaching, anyone who insults Prophet Muhammad should be killed. Insulting God, they do not care. This is 4 Sunni sects. I know because I was Sunni. I used to be Sunni. I know their books very well. According to all Sunni sects, anyone who insults Prophet Muhammad deserves to be killed if that person does not repent. They don't care about God or about Jesus, which is another messenger of peacemaking in Islam. Because they are worshipping Muhammad. You can hear them. You can see them. When you say God, they don't really care much. But when you say Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they say all these fancy fabricated statements before and after his name. In fact, in the masjids, mosques, they put Muhammad's name next to God, which is another fabrication. Centuries later, Muhammad's name was added next to God in the statement, La ilaha illallah, means there is only one God. We are all creation of God. We are all children of Adam. Therefore, we should be united, not divided. Islam means peacemaking. It is not an Arabic a proper name. It means peacemaking. And the Quran emphasizes several issues. One is freedom, against slavery, as many people think, oh, slavery is in the Quran. The big lie, one of the greatest lie. I expose this in my books and in my discussion, debates with religious scholars. They escape, they cannot stand the truth. Watch the YouTube, my debate with the discussion with the Imam of the biggest mosque in Manhattan, 97th Street, Shamsi Ali, a smiling guy. He kind of walks and talks with politicians there, window dresses the Sunnism, but he knows he's hiding the truth. And people who goes to the books that he says, Sahih, Hadith, Sharif, and they find, well, they need to kill people. They need to enslave women. But he hides those things from the Western world. He put a window dressing. But when I exposed him, when I asked him some questions, he couldn't answer because he's not honest. What happened? He stood up, his face changed, he got angry, upset with me, and he escaped. He left from his own mosque. He escaped. And this video you will see, Running Like Zebras, the title of the video. It is in my channel, Edip Yuksel. The English videos are in parentheses, Edip Yuksel, my first name, last name, and then in parentheses E, letter E for English, letter T in parentheses for Turkish. You can just search it for that. My first name, last name, and then in parentheses E. Now, these guys, first of all, they made greatest advertisement for that magazine cartoonist. Made him a martyr, and his newspaper now will be sold in millions. Hundreds of millions of people who would never perhaps get interested in those cartoons, ugly cartoons, they will see that. First, they did great advertisements, these idiots. Second, one is they did advertisement that no money could do that much. They advertised cartoons that basically insulted their idol, Muhammad. Two, what they did, they basically, in the name of Muhammad, they also insulted, they advertised that one, they insulted Muhammad. Three, they demonstrated hypocrisy. Because if they really get upset because their idol is insulted, they should go kill all those imams and anyone who promotes those hadith books or seerah books, Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmizi, or Ibn Ishaq, Tabari, and all those books, Ibn Hanbal, Malik, Abu Dawud. This is the Sunni storybook. Shiites have their own versions. They're all similar. Big lies. Those books are full of insult. In fact, this guy, Charlie Hebdo, is not really insulting Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, who brought the Quran, is not insulting him at all, just the opposite. Who is insulting as Muhammad? Well, there are many Muhammads in the world right now. Some of them are atheists, some of them are agnostics, some of them hypocrites, some of them Sunni, some of them Shiites, some of them this and that. Hello? So many Muhammads. Therefore, who really the character he's insulting is a character, fictional character, made up in hadith books. A very bad character. A schizophrenic character. Someone sometimes is more merciful than God, but sometimes gouging people's eyes with hot nails. Sometimes he is very righteous, but he's also sexual maniac. In one night, he has sexual, according to these books, he has sexual intercourse with 9 wives, imagine. someone, a righteous friend of him, Sahaba, is watching him, peeking. He's also sexual maniac, watching him through the window. Oh, he is having sex with 9. This is hadith. This is sahih, they call it. Means authentic hadith in Sunni hadith books. That Muhammad had sex with 9 of his wives in one night. Someone watched his private life. More than that, they say Muhammad had sexual power of 30 men. What? The Quran says the opposite. It says he's a human being like you. Say, I am a human like you. Well, he's not like us according to hadith. He's 30 times more. He's a super sexual maniac according to the hadith. The sexual power drive of 30 men. Little bit mathematics, there is a problem. If he had 9 wives, according to those stories, and 9 minus 30, 21 men power is not satisfied. Then question what he was doing with that. Lies and over lies. First of all, Muhammad's multiple marriages, he had only one wife who married virgin. The others, they were all widows and older than him. This is the truth, and the Quran gives permission only polygamy for widows with orphans, for widows or women who are orphans or who are divorced, who do not have much chance to get remarried. And there were a lot of loss of men in wars of aggression by the polytheists. They attacked Muslims. They evicted from their hometown. They went to Medina, the city of Yathrib, older name, and they established, Muhammad established a multicultural, multi-religious, I would call it in today's terminology as a federal secular government. He was a secular leader of Christians, Jews, and pagans in Medina. And he was also prophet of believers. Believers, the word believer is problematic. It's a wrong word. Those who accept the truth, acknowledge the truth. And they didn't even let him alone there. They attacked 3 war campaigns to destroy them, but they couldn't succeed. And finally, according to Quran, they accept Islam because the message of Islam is what? Freedom, no slavery. Slavery is the biggest sin because someone who owns a slave, he claims to be Lord, Mawla, or Rab. Only God is Rab. The word attribute Rab means Lord, Master, is used only for God. Anyone claims to be Rab, he becomes like Pharaoh. Pharaoh claimed to be Rab, means the Lord of the people, Master of the people. And that's the greatest sin, is polytheism, is the only unforgivable sin. Therefore, anyone who claims the Quran did not prohibit slavery is a big liar or have no clue about the Quran. Well, the Quran mentions slaves. Quran mentions slaves, means it talks about thieves, talks about killers, because reality of life. Talks about infidels, talks about Christians, about animals, about people who are like animals. Yeah. But it's not the slaves of believers, mu'mins or Muslims. A Muslim cannot have slaves. It is about slave of Christians that time, Jewish people and pagans. It is about them. You free those slaves. You treat them nicely. If they do something wrong, even the penalty should be less, but it is not believer slave. And their expression deliberately mistranslated, distorted later centuries by sultans, by kings, in order to justify their aggression, their slavery, their murders, their racism, so many things distorted. And in Quran, a reformist translation, you see this, especially in the beginning, I showcase about 15 verses, how they are distorted, mistranslated. I show you, you don't need even to know Arabic to find out about them. Also, please watch a video about beheading, the verse, chapter 47, verse 6, I believe, I think so. Muhammad, verse 4 or 6. Chapter 47, verse 4 or 6. I made a video about that, which is another mistranslation. And I talk about also some other verses. Please watch that one. Edip Yuksel, beheading, and about translation error, something like that. But in my channel, you will find it. Recently, I published it. And also in this book, I compare a lengthy table, compare Hadith, teaching of Hadith, Sunnah, teaching, and the Quran, how they contradict. It starts from freedom of expression, and then continues, you see. Oh my gosh, this is long, and I don't want to spend much time on this to show you the pages, but okay. And here I have just one thing to show you. Please, you may stop and read it. And here this one too. Huh, what a technology I have. Anyway, okay, and then hypocrisy. They should be really upset. If they are upset before people, they should be upset with those books which depict Muhammad, a sexual maniac, a torturer, kills a woman, a poet who criticizes him, which is against the Quran. Put two verse numbers, look at them, verse 668 and 140. This perfect freedom of expression. Perfect freedom of expression. If people making mockery of your religion, just ignore them, leave their presence, and then when they stop making mockery, when start that and start engaging in a reasonable debate, argument, then go again, continue. Doesn't say, even yell at them, say peace, leave their presence. This is what the Quran says. This is what the book that Muhammad delivered to us, chapter 6, verse 19. This is the book that Muhammad believed. And therefore, if you love Muhammad, if you really respect Muhammad, you respect the book that he followed, that the book that guided him, made him prophet. In that book says, "O believers, if you are in among group of people, if they start making mockery of your religion, leave their presence. And then, don't leave permanently, forever. And then if they come to their senses, if they are in the mode of rational discussion, then go continue, discuss the issues." Simple. But they care less about the Quran. Because Muslims do not follow the Quran. They betray their reason. They betray the Quran. They in fact nullify, reject hundreds of verses of the Quran. They call it nasikh mansukh. Nasikh means some verses destroy the other verses. Eliminate basically the rule of the verse. Not only according to sects, even Sahih Hadith means, as Sahih means authentic lie. 200, 300 centuries after Prophet Muhammad, they made up those lies. Bukhari came 230 years after Muhammad. Their most authentic Hadith book, narrations, stories falsely attributed to Muhammad. Now, hypocrisy. If you are angry, go kill your mullahs who are making Muhammad what? Torture, sexual maniac, slave owner, the worst crime, to enslave another person, to claim that you are their Lord and Master, you are God, which is like Pharaoh. It is interesting, slavery was rejected by Moses and Jesus, but it was St. Paul who entered the Christianity. St. Paul is a dubious guy, is a delusional guy, whom we find similar in Islamic history too. Similar guys who come up and distort the message. It's St. Paul, meanwhile, in parentheses, St. Paul, who revived the idea of slavery after Jesus, which is nothing to do with the message of Jesus, which was a egalitarian message. I highly recommend you to read Reza Aslan's book, The Zealot, about Jesus. You will see the real Jesus. Anyway, slavery, he says, slaves should respect, should obey their owners, their masters. Woman against woman, misogyny. He was a misogynist, saying women should hush, shut up in congregations because you are the one who are responsible from the downfall of Adam from heaven. The same idea Sunnis and Shiites also got, which is against the Quran. The Quran, for example, chapter 49, verse 13, and there are many other verses, says there is no difference between man and woman, or colors, or races. You are all children of Adam, you are all equal. Equality. But misogyny entered through hadith. Centuries later, they made up. They started, but centuries later it got wide acceptance, became book and source, official source of Islam, the books of hadith, the major problem, the cancer in the so-called Muslim world. Anyway, according to hadith, they create a lot of things against women, like Prophet Muhammad said, if dog and donkey, pig and woman passes in front of the prayer, your prayer is nullified. See the category that woman is associated with. Or majority of hell is filled with women. In fact, according to the Quran, is the man. Pharaoh was man, Qarun was man, Haman was man, Abraham's father was man. These are all very aggressive, violent, terrible examples given. Or Abu Jahl or Abu Lahab. The worst of the worst were men. Therefore, God sent male messengers against them. Hello? Go look at the majority of murderers in prisons, men. Corrupt politicians, majority men. But the enemy of women, misogynist, evil, fabricated many hadiths putting down women. Many. I'm just give you 2 examples. And Muhammad, slave owners, they say, or Muhammad was illiterate, could not read and write. He got a book and he dictated to people 23 years, according to these mullahs and religious scholars. All tell the same lie, biggest lie, and they agree in that lie. They say, well, he didn't know how to read and write. Okay, he was a smart guy, and he was a merchant. He was taking notes, not memorized. He was an international merchant. He should be able to take the notes. If you wrote numbers, numbers were in letters. That time, during revelation of the Quran, letters were used, alphabet letters as numbers. Abjad, Hawa, Sutti, Kalaman, Safas, Qarasha, Saqat, Dazagh. This is Gematria. Until 200 years after Prophet Muhammad, it was used as a number system, like Roman alphabet. Yeah, he should be able, no. But what about 23 years you dictated the Quran? He couldn't learn? No. You dictate a book 23 years, only there are 28 letters in Arabic. If you cannot learn Alif, which is one line, A, B is this one with dot under it, there are 28 letters. It takes, for a normal person, takes 28 minutes maximum. I can teach. In their schools, they don't have pedagogy. It takes them months to teach a child. But I challenge any normal person, a child, give to me in 28 minutes, maximum 30 minutes. Give 2 more extra minutes to have fun. In half an hour, I will teach that person how to read Arabic. Not understanding, it takes a long time. It's not really that difficult either. The Quranic Arabic is very easy. Very easy. There are some of my friends, they didn't believe me. I said, say it is easy and start working on it. In 1 month, he says, well, I got 80% of it, now I understand. In 2 months, 99%. It's not that difficult, because religious scholars, they want to tell you it's difficult, because they want to have exclusive authority over it and get money, power because of that. No, the Quran is easy. Language of the Quran is very easy. And Muhammad could not learn this. 23 years he dictates. He cannot learn 28 letters. That means, according to their thing, he was an idiot. And these guys basically insulting that guy who is torturer, who is sexual maniac, who is slave owner, who is murderer. According to their stories, he basically massacred 800 people from Bani Qurayza, another big lie. At 19.org, you will see an article on this Bani Qurayza lie, historically lie. There are contradictions, 800, 900, 600, and this is exactly the same numbers given in an old Jewish story before Islam. Another massacre. Has nothing to do with this one. Other real massacre. They exactly modified that one. They put Muhammad in the center in order to basically bash Muhammad. Propaganda. And these idiots, Sunnis, they got that. They love that because the sultans want to kill people. In order to kill people, he must have some examples from what Muhammad did. Another big lie. Anyway, this is, I'm going all over. Therefore, these guys, they are not criticizing real Muhammad of the Quran, who is promoting freedom, ultimate freedom. There is nothing, no one between you and God, according to the Quran. Muhammad tell them, even I cannot save myself. God is the judge. I don't know what will happen to me. I cannot save you. The Quran says, Muhammad, even if you ask forgiveness 70 times, God will not accept your asking your prayer. Because God is the power. Muhammad was a human being like us, came, told people, said, do not idolize messengers, prophets, or saints and stuff. Do not put between yourself and the perfect being with all perfect attributes, humans who are fallible, who have shortcomings, who are limited, and who are also could be very bad. Therefore, do not make other than God your master. Submit yourself only to God, who is the truth, al-haq. That means only submit yourself, accept the truth, and search for the truth. Always continue search. And no one should come between you and the truth, search of the truth. A name, a holy name, a big name, a politician, an idol. Nope. An ideology, a dogma, no dogma. Search for truth all the time. Correct yourself. Because truth is God. Don't be scared of discussion of ideas. Any ideas. You are not scared. You are not stuck from falsehood. If it is falsehood, the truth is like light. Falsehood is like darkness. Light is powerful. Darkness cannot stand the light. Finished. Why you are scared? Let everyone speak. The Quran says there is no compulsion in religion. As I said, there are many verses on the complete freedom, even better freedom than the freedom of the United States Constitution. In fact, I discussed this with Chief Justice Rehnquist while he was teaching a class on Supreme Court while I was a student in law school. He was from Phoenix, Arizona, therefore he was teaching summer classes at the University of Arizona, and I discussed this issue specifically with him. I talk about it, many other things in my life story. Anyway, I don't want to go all over. Therefore, they advertised, these idiots, they advertised that billions of dollars perhaps would not make it possible, and many people now are interested. They made them hero. And also they insulted Muhammad because they said they are avenging Muhammad. They basically showed that Muhammad was a killer, murderer. Basically, they insulted their own idol, and they show their hypocrisy. And of course, hypocrisy of the so-called Sunni and Shiite world, unfortunately. Now, okay, this is here. I want to see the Western side. The West is condemned in this event, of course should be condemned, because no one should be killed, should be harmed, and even jailed because they express their ideas, which is abhorrent, bad, wrong, false, or even diabolic. If you really put people behind the jail or kill them, the biggest liars on this planet are the religious people. The biggest lies are fabricated in churches, mosques, synagogues, temples, Hindu, Buddhist, all of them, the biggest liars throughout history. And they cause the biggest harm in human history. And now, well, nationalism is competing with that. Corporation interest right now is camouflaged under nationalism. Nationalism secretes another hormone, like religious hormones, can turn people become very intoxicated and crazy, justify the killing of other human beings and families and children in the name of our national interest. But we are all humans. We are children of Adam. We should be all united against the corporations, the military industrial complex, the politicians and religious people who would like to divide us and take advantage of this collusion and conflict. Therefore, the peacemakers of the world unite. You must be stronger. Ignore the differences, color, language, nation, race, cultural. The truth is, we must all be free. No censorship. There must be justice. The 1% should not be sucking the 40, 50, 60% of the wealth. There should not be people hungry while rich people are throwing pies on each other's face or having incredible luxurious life, because there is something in the system. The system is based on stealing, on bias towards benefiting the rich, making them more rich. The banking system, the currency system, the corporate system, corporate personality, the bankruptcy laws, everything is designed to make more money, give more control to the rich people. Therefore, they always make more money. A billionaire is not smarter than you billions of times. Is not hardworking billions of times than you. This is the biggest lie sold to you under the name of, oh, capitalism freedom. There is no free market. The market is rigged, tricked. I have some videos on that. Please watch that. And I have also discussion with Chomsky. I think one of the discussion, just talk was on this issue. There's another one on Palestinian and Kurdish issue. And also I have debate with atheists, with American Atheist Society's president, Dr. Silverman, or Skeptic Foundation Society's president, Dr. Shermer, Michael Shermer. You can watch it, very diverse. Also, highly I recommend you two things. Listen to my talk at European Parliament, about 15 minutes. You may find the last word is somewhere different, but it is very short. But the whole talk is about 15, 20 minutes. I don't know how much of it either. I think I have 20 minutes. My talk at European Parliament. And also my presentation at Princeton University about Peacemakers' Constitution. Peacemakers' Constitution. Which I challenge you, I say this is much better than American Constitution. In fact, I presented at University of Arizona, then at Princeton University. University of Arizona, the top political philosophers were there, and I didn't give the references of this Peacemaker's Constitution. I just presented without references. They like it very much. A couple of criticism, good criticism, but mostly it was welcomed. Anyway, now come to we talked about the East, how is hypocritical, the Muslim world, and also how they oppress their own people, they kill each other. My life was also at risk. Myself, I know my friend was killed. Dr. Rashad Khalifa, closest friend, mentor, he was basically stabbed to death, and I don't know whether he was beheaded in 1990 in Tucson, January 31st, 1990, by a group affiliated with Al-Qaeda. Now, the East, as far as the West, look, in Iraq alone, Iraq was ruled by Saddam Hussein. Saddam was SOB of the United States. He worked for the United States for a while. The United States supported him with money, with military, and even weapons. Biochemical weapons. He used against Iranians. He used even against Kurdish people. He killed about 5,000 people in Halabja alone, Kurdish people. Gassed them. That time the United States did not make any noise. Did not point at him. Oh, you are a bad guy. No, he was a good guy that time because he was killing for the United States. Killing innocent people, that's fine. He was torturing people as a dictator, that's fine. Mubarak the same. Saudi kings the same. Shah was the same. Or many Latin American generals, cruel people. As long as they do the interests of the corporations, they're fine. Hey, I'm going to check the phone. Come in. Okay, what time? Yes. Okay, see you. Okay, bye. And then, where I was, train of thought is lost. Anyway, we basically United States support the tyrants. Well, it was time to dump him, replace, change the dictators with friendly, elected or selected governments. Therefore, when Saddam Hussein was a bad guy, then he needed to be dumped for a new design in the Middle East to sell a lot of weapons to also Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, scared by Saddam invading Kuwait, he was given first green light to invade Kuwait. I followed them very carefully. Watch the news, go check the news. When they asked the American ambassador about Saddam Hussein's plan, he was in fact mobilizing his soldiers towards invading Kuwait, he said it's not our business. Because secretly they gave permission to him. They say, here is your reward. You stood against Iran, you fought for us, you're a good guy. Now as a prize we are giving you the Kuwait. And he kind of a little bit, maybe he had some suspicions. He says, okay, you are a good master. And then when he mobilized, when they asked the American ambassador, he says, well, it's not our business. Saddam said, Now even they publicly said this, therefore I'm really giving this as a prize. He went there, boom. It was a trick. It was time to dump him, to change him. And meanwhile, there was advertisement with smart missiles. You remember? He was supposedly attacking Israel. Israel was covered, protected by smart missiles. And how many of them were sold? Saudi Arabia at that time purchased $3 billion worth of weapons, which they couldn't use. They had to hire American soldiers, trained soldiers, and give them very hefty salaries to maintain those weapons. And first time Saudi Arabia opened the country for American bases. American kings have been perfect, 100% stooges of American corporations. And what happened? But this is bloody. It's not only money, bloody. For oil and for other interests, geopolitical interests, the so-called Muslim world, Sunni world, have been basically destroyed. Iraq, according to the doctors without borders, 1 million people were killed. 1 million. They're all individuals like these 12 people. Imagine, count until 1 million. How many of them wounded, traumatized, how many of them were displaced. And we didn't even care about them. We counted our soldiers. A war based on lies fabricated by neocons, Dick Cheney. And who else was that? Well, of course, Bush, George Bush II. This war, how many minutes I have? Okay, I still have some minutes. The battery may finish. Based on lies, weapons of mass destruction initially they said, then they changed this, then that. And then they invaded the country. 9/11, 15 of these 19 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia, the source of the problem. But Saudi is our ally. It is good, in fact, once a while, create this boogeyman, bad people, in order for us to justify our aggression, military invasions, interference. Controlled terrorism is a good thing. Two ways it works very good for the governments to lie, to take our rights in our countries, to interfere with our private lives, to spy on every citizen against the Constitution, and also to justify war machine. More than about a quarter of American budget goes to the military. This is a monster, needs to be fed. The food for military-industrial complex is conflict and wars. If United States of America directly does not find a justification for it, we'll create wars, conflicts, easy for CIA, Mossad, and other services to provoke, to create some conflicts. Covert operations is called. They do it. They do it all the time. I don't trust any government. They are the biggest machines of lies. They fabricate lies. They have funds, millions of dollars spent to lie and to fool the citizens. Therefore, and did not care. With drones, kill many, many people. More than 12, we did not care. They are not lives. They are not humans. Because they are not Westerners. This is Western hypocrisy. How would you feel if drones were flying over your city, supposedly killing some bad Americans, and one a while falling on your homes while you are at wedding parties? The whole nation would be terrorized, but we don't care. Israel, just recently, forget about the past, always kill thousands of Palestinians if one Israeli killed. And always, somehow, the world, the human history starts with one Israeli first killed. Before that, there is no history. Always Israel is the one who gets first killed. They are a very peaceful nation. They don't do anything. They don't invade other countries. They don't commit assassinations or torture them, imprison them, or put walls or destroy their homes. They are just nice people. And they get killed one and they kill 1,000. And they are justified. They are invaders. They call it settler. Means invade, grab, destroy people's home, kill them, and build complexes. And look at the picture of Israeli map in 1948 and now. You see what's going on. And how many Palestinians killed? How many Israeli killed? What Palestinians have as a weapon? What Israel has. What support Israel getting from the world? What Palestinians get. This picture is so simple. But last August, Israel, in front of the eyes of the world, made up a big lie. Oh, the shower of thousands of rockets falling from Gaza to us. We are scared. We are going to die. Only one, throughout all that brouhaha, all that campaign, one person from Israel died. An old person perhaps from heart attack. Because they were always acting as if they are scared. Oh, every once in a while, alarm, they go to their homes. And then once they show, the whole media, Western media is focused on a peanut-sized rocket, hit the road, it is, a hole is this much. That's whole thing. And it didn't start, because before that Israel assassinated many, many people in the Gaza just the day before. And many Palestinians in Israeli prison. That's also not a story. But Israel went with the military, jets, tanks, all sophisticated, mostly paid by the American citizens' tax. Not only 3 billion, even much more than that. A lot of other supports going to Israel. What did they do? They killed more than 2,000 Palestinians. They destroyed their homes. Look at the picture of Gaza from sky. Destruction. 1,500 rockets supposedly was raining. Only one Israeli in that conflict dies? No, 3. The other 2 are soldiers while they will kill children and civilians. 2,000 Palestinians. We are talking about 12 cartoonists. Absolutely abhorrent. I condemn. But I want to show also the hypocrisy of the Western world. More than 2,000 Palestinians. They were all civilians. They don't have tanks. They don't have jets. They have nothing to protect them. Some of them have guns. And they are under invasion. A brutal fascist, Zionist-fascist, or Zion, what's called, Zion-Nazis, basically. They are like Nazis, nothing different. 2,000 Palestinians were killed, but more than 500 of them were children. United Nations repeatedly said, we warned Israel this is a school, or this is shelter, hospitals. We gave the coordinates. They deliberately hit schools, hospitals. Pretext, there are terrorists there. The ghost. Justification of killing 500 children, 200. Israel, one old man, perhaps heart attack, while acting as if they are scared to the world. And 2 soldiers. Soldiers trained to kill. And they killed 2,500 minimum Palestinians, 500 of them being children. And what happened to the Western world? I watched the media. By the way, I am not a fan of Arabs. I am not a fan of Sunnis or Shiites. I don't discriminate between races, but as far as their religion, it's not my religion at all. They want to kill me too, the religious fanatic among them. But these are children, humans. Even they entertain the idea of killing me, most of them perhaps not, only the very fanatic ones or religious scholars. Still, they don't deserve to be killed. Slaughtered, maimed. The Western world is about this. What did we do? Well, our president and senators, they entered in line to say their condolences for these 2 soldiers and 1 citizen, Israeli citizen. They did not care about this. They were bad guys. Therefore, see both sides. If you have heart, if you are conscious, you should see both sides. And I see Muslims, Sunnis, Shiites are hypocrites. I see Christians are hypocrites as well. But at the end, when I look at the numbers, of course, if Muslims are terrorists, Christians are 666 times more terrorists. The number of people they killed, the countries they invaded. Muslims did not invade any countries. Besides, the media is so biased. When Serbs were Christian Serbs, and they share the same ethnicity with Bosnian Muslims, but because their religion is different, they got enemy to each other. Christian against Muslim, in fact, it was the same race, but one Christian. These Christians, they killed many of them. They committed basically a genocide against them. Mass murder. And they raped many, many Bosnian women. But that time Western media did not say Christian terrorists. The main, really, division was Christian versus Muslim. It was not associated. When Israel killed those children, Israeli soldiers, children, women, tortured them, killed them, it's not called Jewish terrorists, Jewish murderers. No. Well, recently in Norway, was it Norway? This guy killed about more than 60 children. You remember? Who had kind of show in Norway, massacre. Check it through internet. I forgot his name. I can check it now. And he was Christian. He was, in fact, very influenced by Robert Spencer's book. Robert Spencer, an Islamophobe. Robert Spencer, who is a warmonger. He supported Iraqi war and any war. He wants basically annihilation of so-called Muslims. Robert Spencer. I have debate with Robert Spencer in a book, Running Like Zebras. I put together about 2 symposiums, and you will see how he's losing the debate. And later, face-to-face, I was invited to debate with him. I accepted, but he chickened out. And it's also on record on 19.org. Anyway, Robert Spencer, he was a fan of Robert Spencer and some other Christian warmongers, but this guy was not referred as a Christian terrorist. He was called as a lunatic. Okay, there's double standard. However, I want to admit that Muslims cannot, Muslims or so-called Muslims, Sunnis, Shiites, cannot get out of the hell they are in. Ignorance, backwardness, tyranny, basically discrimination against each other, women and stuff. They will not get out of the hell by accusing the West. The West is like them. If they had the power, they would do like the West do. Because their ideology, their religion is as oppressive as the West current one. Therefore, they need to change themselves. They need to change themselves. You need to look at the books that you are telling people this is life of Prophet Muhammad or sayings of Prophet Muhammad. Look at them. They are the biggest insult to Prophet Muhammad. Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmizi, or other books in Shiites, threw them to the trash. All of them. Because the Quran is enough. In Quran Reformist translation, I have sufficient theological argument, which so far no Sunni or Shiite scholar could withstand. They all lose the arguments. Look at YouTube. Some of them are escaped from the studio or from their mosque. Therefore, there is powerful argument from the Quran and from the reality. As long as you stick with these hadith, sunnah, or sectarian fatwas, you will not get out of the trouble, hell you are in. Just the opposite. It's like black hole, you are drawn into more trouble and it will increase and increase. You will start killing each other more and more, oppressing each other, stealing from each other, lying to each other until you become extinct like dinosaurs. Therefore, I challenge Muslim scholars to question, to have the courage and honesty, come out and say these books of the old fabrications, they are the cause of our demise, our backwardness. We need to trash this and follow the Quran alone by using our mind. We need to go back to use our reasoning faculty, the most important gift given to us by God. Thank you very much. If you have check19.org, I have 2 Twitter account. One of them English, which I haven't been active on English much, but I will be soon. soon, God willing. The English one is at 19.org. The Turkish one is Edip Yuksel. Do you see it? Uh-oh. Okay, spelling is bad. Edip Yuksel. If you first time know me, hear me now, check Wikipedia or check 19.org with dot, 19.org. And that needs to be redesigned. There are many friends who want to help, but I don't have time to delegate them. Hopefully one day I will do. Also check YouTube channel. There are a lot of videos in English, as I said in the beginning. For English videos, I have some playlists, but not all on the playlist because I don't have time. For English ones, put my name and also parenthesis T. Not T, T for Turkish, E inside the parenthesis. Peace. Talk to you soon, inshallah.
What is Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What is Islam?
Burada sen inşallah.
Nereye?
Gidiyorum.